Good morning or good afternoon. This is Attorney Shah Peerally. This video is being made regarding the new STEM OPT rule that is being proposed by the USCIS, and that rule is on public comments on the Federal Register, and I think the comments are going to end by November 18th, 2015. So what is being proposed right now, I'm going to go over the proposed rule quickly and hopefully be able to explain quickly what is in there. There are some good and bads, of course, but we will go over as many as possible. But there was, and again, one thing I wanted to mention, everything I'm going to tell you today is educational in purpose. You should not act or refrain to act solely on the information provided. You should contact an attorney if you have any questions, and if you want to call me, the number is 510-742-5887. I'm going to put the number also at the bottom of the YouTube video. So let us start a little bit about the background. As you know, the STEM extension was kind of cut off with by the court and invalidated by a federal judge, who basically said the government didn't go to the normal process of getting this executive order approved. So ultimately, they went ahead. The government luckily went ahead and did all the steps, including going on the Federal Register. And now it has reached the point of comments. Usually, after the point of comments, very soon later, if it goes through and the comments are positive and it goes through, it will become law pretty fast. So let us hope before February, when the law gets invalidated, it will become law. But until then, let us look quickly at what is in there. So before, when you had the STEM extension, you have the regular OPT. First, OPT is what we call the optional practical training. This is obtained usually after you graduate from a school from United States, usually from a bachelor's degree or a master's degree. There are a lot of intricacies and rule attached to that, but this video is mostly based on that new rule being proposed. So I'm going to try to cover the new rule. And again, it's not law, so you should not take it for granted. Right now, it's still being proposed. There might be changes, but we hope, just like the H4, which went through the same process, it will be the same. Whatever is proposed will be what will be accepted. So first of all, the new STEM that they are proposing, the new STEM extension that they are proposing from the government, some advantages of it and some good stuff from it is it's going to be 24 months instead of 17 months, which is very good. And also the F1 student, who usually you have to be an F1 and then get OPT and then extend. If you have been granted the first OPT, you will be able to apply for the 24 month, which is a good thing. It was 17 months, now it's going to be hopefully 24 months. And then the previous rule also says that if you have a previously STEM degree, and you were not able to apply for that because of the law was broken or whatever reason, you might be able to reapply for the 24 month at a later stage, which is something new. Usually it has to be continuous, but then again, we didn't have the situation that we have right now where the court invalidated the whole situation. And also what is being proposed is, as you know, the regular OPT, if you don't work within 90 days, if you don't work for 90 days, you kind of invalidate your OPT. That's a regular OPT, the first 12 months. But then when it came to STEM, there was only 30 days rule that was applying. So now they're extending that 30 days rule to 60, hopefully. And then also, the good thing is that we hope that this will satisfy those who are saying that it is going to be, it is bad news. It might be good news coming. But now, with the good news, there are some restrictions that they are putting on this new OPT. Of course, they have to, because there's a lot of fight against OPT people. For one, they want that there is a mentoring and even a training that will require U.S. employers. So, for example, you hire someone on OPT and that person is going on STEM. The employer has to, for example, has enough resources to train that person. And that means basically you cannot just say, okay, I'm just going to train like that. No, you have to prove basically under an attestation that you have the people to train your people, the OPT student who's going to work with you. Second, they will also have to attest that they're not going to fire um, a US citizen or even an H1B or someone else to replace them by an OPT, which is something that has been one of the main argument of those who are against OPT have said. And then also they have to provide also an opportunity of that student to basically get their objectives met, right? For example, since it's a training program, you cannot come and say, okay, I just put that person sitting there and doing work, but that person is not being trained. So they will have to attest to that. It has to be really linked to your training. Then the terms of the employment also that will be changed a little bit. Um, uh, you will have to work at least 20 hours. So the proposed rule requires the person who is on STEM OPT. STEM is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics for those who don't know. And that's what we're talking about here, the extension of the STEM OPT. And there will be a requirement of minimum of 20 hours in this new rule. And there will be, of course, site visits, just like they're doing an H1B. And I bet this time there will be a lot of site visits. So employers, caveat for employers, beware. Don't just take people on OPT and don't have any work for them. This is very important. You might want to make sure that you have that person is working and doing exactly what is proposed, a bit like is being done on the H1B. And of course, it has to be an accredited school, and the school has to be recognized by the Department of Education, which is something which kind of one restriction. And of course, there are many schools out there who are going to get upset, which are going to get upset. But guess what? At least it's better than not having the OPT. Now, the big question, of course, for all the students who are going to go on OPT, I give you just a brief synopsis of what is in that new OPT extension rule. But that doesn't mean really it's exactly what's going to be there. We don't even know it will become law. So until then, I will recommend students to look into other options in their cases. For example, sometimes some students come to me and they might qualify for H1B non-profit or H1B cap exam. They can also qualify from sometimes EB1, and some people who are not from India usually qualify under national interest waiver. They can go straight green card, or they can file a straight green card through labor certification. All these are available. Of course, you have to make sure it's done properly because you're going to jump on things. And of course, at the end of the day, you can also be qualifying for U visas or family petitions. And that's why it's important to talk to a lawyer. The difference when I do a consultation, for example, I will go a checklist in my mind and in front of me. I will go pretty much on all the alphabets of the visas from A, B, C, D, E, F, whichever visa you might qualify for. I will give you the options, and we will give you the options, because that's how a real consultation is done. Is how we can really kind of assess what is good for a client, because sometimes just because you think something is good for you doesn't mean it's necessarily good for you. And again, if you need help, at least a second opinion, or you want us to do the work, give us a call at the office, 510-742-5887. And this is attorney Shah Peerally from California, Newark. We have an office in Newark and San Francisco. And I wanted to thank you for listening. Anything I told you today is for educational purposes only. You should not act or refrain to act solely on the information provided. You should contact an attorney if you have any questions. Again, 510-742-5887. Our website is peerallylaw.com, peerallylaw.com. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We'll come back with another video soon.